You wanted to deep dive into xLLM. And honestly, after digging through this research, I
Yes.
totally get it. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
someone said, hey, you know everything you thought you knew about LLMs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah. A little different.
And we get to be the first ones to like poke around and see what's going on. This xLLM is
Yeah.
it's something else right from the start. No neural networks. I don't know about you, but when I hit that line, I think I reread it 3 times.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I
Yeah.
mean, because most LLMs, they're these massive, massive projects.
Huge.
Right. You need tons of data to train them, and that just takes forever.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking serious computer power, time, all of it.
For those, yeah.
But xLLM just sidesteps all that. No neural networks, no massive data sets, no endless training.
So it just like knows things. Okay, now I'm even more curious about how this thing even works.
Okay. Think of it this way. Imagine a super organized librarian
Okay.
who has just like an incredible memory. They
Yeah.
don't need to sift through like mountains of books to find what you need. They just know exactly where everything is. That's kind of what xLLM is doing. It's all about efficiency and speed.
Okay, I love that analogy. So instead of being like this data hog, it's more like a lean, mean information machine.
Yes.
But how does it pull that off?
So it really comes down to two key things: multi-tokens and an in-memory approach.
Okay.
And I think if we start with the multi-tokens, those are really key to how xLLM understands the information.
Right.
Because instead of looking at words individually, what it does is it groups these related terms together into these multi-tokens.
So give me an example. How would that work in like real life?
Let's say you're searching for information on data assets, which, I mean, that pops up like all the time in your research, right?
Oh, that's somebody, yeah.
xLLM understands data assets as a single concept,
Mhm.
not just two separate words. So
Got
that
it.
lets it actually grasp the context of your search and return much more relevant results.
So it's not just word matching, it's actually understanding the meaning, like a human would.
Exactly. It's a much more kind of nuanced way of processing information, which is essential for dealing with the complexities of, well, everything. And this is where that in-memory part comes in, because xLLM doesn't rely on these, like, huge external data sets.
Right.
It can process everything incredibly quickly right there in the computer's memory.
Wow, talk about speed. So it's like having all that knowledge instantly accessible, just like our super organized, information-packed librarian.
Yes.
But in this case, the librarian is actually a computer program.
Exactly. And for a corporate setting, like, that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine being able to, like, search your entire company's database and instantly find the exact piece of information you need without wading through tons of useless files.
Sign me up. That's the dream, right?
Right.
But there's got to be some serious organization happening in the background for that to actually work. It can't just be a jumble of data in there, right?
You're absolutely right. Organization is key, and that's where this whole knowledge graph thing comes in.
Okay, knowledge graph. Sounds a bit intimidating, not going to lie.
All right.
Break it down for me.
Okay. Think of it like a family tree, but for information. So each piece of information is like a member of the family, right? And xLLM learns how they're all connected, like parents, children, cousins, you name it. It uses this knowledge graph to understand how different concepts within your company's data are all related.
So if I'm searching for something like, say, customer feedback,
Yeah.
the knowledge graph would help xLLM understand that this could be related to things like product development or marketing campaigns or even employee training.
You got it. And because xLLM is constantly building and refining this knowledge graph as it crawls through your company's data, it gets incredibly good at understanding the unique way information is connected within your specific organization. It's like having a custom-built information map that's always evolving and improving.
Okay, now that is seriously impressive. It's not just retrieving data, it's actually making connections and understanding the bigger picture. This is way beyond your grandpa's search bar.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about a whole new way of interacting with information.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond just keyword matching and entering a world where the system actually understands what you're looking for.
Right.
And what's even cooler is that xLLM allows for real-time fine-tuning.
Oh.
But we'll dive into that more after a quick break.
Real-time fine-tuning. Okay, now that's something I can get behind. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Oh, tell me about it.
You type in what you think is a perfectly good search term,
Yeah.
and then bam,
Yeah.
you're just bombarded with a million results that have nothing to do with what you need.
It's the worst, right?
It's enough to make you want to throw your computer out the window.
Yeah.
But with xLLM, it sounds like you're saying,
xLLM gives you the keys, right? Like
Yeah.
this real-time fine-tuning, you're in control.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
It's like you're having a conversation with the search bar, telling it exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly.
No more settling for, like, well, that's close enough, or getting lost in a sea of irrelevant information.
No.
This sounds like a total game changer.
It is. It is.
So how does this actually work in practice?
So the research actually gives a really good example of this in action.
Okay.
They were trying to find information on something called, get ready for it, MLTX Quest data assets.
MLTX Quest data assets.
MLTX Quest data assets. Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful.
I'm not going to lie.
It's just, a fancy name for the data they were using in their case study.
Yeah. But the important thing is they started with a query that included the word detailed.
Okay. Makes sense.
Which, seems logical, right? You want the detailed information.
We want the details, yeah.
But here's the thing. Because detailed was such a common term in their database,
Oh, interesting.
it actually made the search results worse. It was too broad.
So even a word like detailed, which you think is helping,
Right.
it's actually throwing things off.
It's all about context, right?
Wild.
So what they did was they used xLLM's real-time fine-tuning to basically tell it, hey, ignore the word detailed for now. And you know what? The results were exactly what they were looking for.
No way.
Really?
Spot on.
Wow. So it's like xLM knows when to be hyper-specific
Yes.
and when to kind of like broaden its horizons a little bit.
Yeah. It's like having a research assistant who can, like, read your mind
Right.
and just, like, adjust on the fly.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And there's more. So the research also mentions this command menu
Okay.
that gives you even more control over these fine-tuning parameters. It's like having a secret control panel for your search.
It's so cool.
Right. You can adjust things like the minimum relevancy score, or even tell it to completely ignore specific multi-tokens if they're causing problems.
So you're really in the driver's seat here.
Yeah.
You're guiding the search to exactly where it needs to go.
You're in control.
This is amazing. I bet this is where the real power of multi-tokens really comes into play.
100%.
Right.
Remember how we were talking about data assets earlier? Well, in the case study, they actually plugged in that entire query, that whole MLTX Quest data assets detailed information page, into xLLM.
Wow, they were not messing around.
Nope.
They were very specific.
They wanted to see if xLLM could handle a complex multi-part query like that.
Right.
And the results were really, really fascinating.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Not only did it find all the relevant documents and pages associated with that query,
Okay.
but it also did something really, really interesting.
Okay, what did it do?
It started suggesting other related multi-tokens that they might want to look into.
Oh, wow.
Like, for example, it highlighted things like instructions completing template and completing template accurately.
So it's not just answering your initial question.
Right.
It's actually, like, looking ahead.
It's like, hey, if you're interested in that, maybe take a look over here.
Yeah, guiding you further down the path.
Exactly.
Like, have you thought about this?
Yeah, anticipating your next steps, connecting those dots, showing you these potential pathways you might never have even considered.
This is blowing my mind. It's like having a conversation with the most intuitive, the smartest search engine on the planet.
It's really something.
So where does something like xLLM fit into, like, the bigger picture of artificial intelligence and LLMs? I mean, is this the future? It really makes you wonder where this all goes. When we talk about the future of LLMs and, like, where does xLLM fit into all of this, it feels like, I don't know, we're about to go down this totally new path. It's not just about, like, oh, let's make information easier to find. It's like, let's totally change how we deal with knowledge.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just imagine like a world where anybody, it doesn't matter how tech savvy you are, anybody can just have an LLM, their own custom built LLM that's like laser focused on exactly what they need.
That's what's so cool about this. It's almost like having, I don't know, a whole team of experts,
Yeah.
just like on call, ready to go, who can help you unlock all those hidden connections, all those crazy insights that are just buried in mountains of data.
Buried in the data, exactly.
So if you could build an xLLM for yourself, what would it be?
Oh man, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would be amazing to have an xLLM that could connect all those dots between different like research fields. You know what I mean? So like imagine you could feed it all the latest research papers and studies from like neuroscience, psychology, sociology, all that, and then just be like, okay, tell me, what are the trends? What are some things that are like totally unexpected connections that are popping up?
That would be amazing, just to be able to see those connections without having to do like a million years of research yourself.
Yeah, like think of how much faster things could move
Yeah.
if we're not limited by just like what we already know or what field we happen to
Yeah.
be in.
Right.
Like, no, break down those walls, find the real connections, the new frontiers. That's where it gets exciting.
So it sounds like with xLLM, we're not just talking about a new technology. We're talking about like a whole new way of thinking about how we understand the world around us. Like just how do we learn?
100%. It's about breaking free from these old limitations, these old systems, and like embracing something way, way bigger.
This has been an amazing deep dive. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what XLM can do, but this has really opened my eyes.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of XLLM, and who knows what we'll uncover next time because the world of LLMs, it just keeps getting wilder. Until then, happy researching, everybody.